What? What's up? What's
Well,
up?
how you doing, man? You're
Well, I'm
particularly
doing good.
happy.
No, I am happy because after a 5-game schneid,
Yeah, it's got to feel pretty good.
The Yanks got off the schneid last night, and they beat the Braves of Atlanta 3-1 in a well pitched game. The Yankees still not swinging the bats though.
Well, you can't worry about teams that aren't hitting in middle of April.
Fair.
So
I think that's
everyone
fair.
that's calling for to jump off a bridge here, your hitters are going to hit.
Sure.
Right?
They're gonna hold on. Ready? They're gonna play to the back of their baseball cards. See what I'm doing there?
I like what you did. Look, at the end of the day, they put on their pants one leg at a time, guy.
Sure they do.
And I think they're going to play within themselves.
Sure. So that's what.
Yeah. So go ahead.
So that's why I'm in a good mood. So the Yankees win last night, and then of course I have to find out what the Metsies are doing, and the Metsies lost, but they've been playing good ball, so I'm not going to get all too excited.
No, you shouldn't.
And the Rangers, that game was over early. Brutal. So you know what I wound up doing? I wound up, the what do they call that? Surf casting or surf channel surfing?
Yeah, you're channel surfing. You're channel surfing. Where did you end up? Let's see.
I'll tell you
the greatest patch.
I'll tell you exactly where I wound up. I wound up at the end of one of the top 10 movies of all time, the 1991 release Point Break with the great Keanu Reeves.
I mean, who makes that movie? Is it Keanu or is it Swayze? I mean,
Swayze. No, it's Swayze. Come on, man.
And I think also the guys who are part of his crew, man, the guys that are part of his crew are, I mean, like, I wanted to be one of those like surf rebels, like Robin Banks, and just living, being a soul surfer, bro. Just being a soul surfer. That's all anybody wants.
I mean, it's just such a great movie. And I wound up at the end of it, and if memory serves, so that's when, if you recall, Bodie is waiting for his. I'm just waiting for my set. He's standing out there. There's storms and shit
on a day that looks like the world is ending.
World is ending.
Yeah,
fittingly, by the way. And Swayze, is waiting for a set, and Keanu puts the handcuffs on him, and you can't take me. Let me just let
one more.
And then, one more.
You can't. Yeah.
And Keanu Reeves undoes the cuffs, and it basically says something like Viacom Dios or something like that. And immediately, though, this is how my mind works. I'm like, immediately I've thought of Viacom. I'm like, man, it's so effing crazy what's going on in Viacom. And then today, as you were mentioning, like all these Archegos or
which we don't know what that means either, by the way. No. I mean, I'm sure my Greek mythology background should have told me exactly what this is, but I might have missed that class.
So what's going? So what is going on?
Well,
I mean, this is like Kathy Wood, Archegos, and the whole Mr. Wang and the whole thing. Can you fill me in here?
I thought Mr. Wang was in Caddyshack. All right, so and by the way, it's Viacom Dios. It's as if it's Viacom today is possessed, and that it is the god of Viacom. I should say that's my Latin speaking. I can do that. The god of Viacom is up 7% today, along with every other one of those stocks that were in the basket for this hedge fund that blew up and then became the story that almost took down the banking system, which it didn't. But we look for opportunities to either ridicule banks and risk management, or at least think about that time, or think about the connection to where they might at some point lead to another financial crisis, because they almost did take us down to our very knees as a country 15 years ago. So, or 13 years ago, or 13 years ago. Ish. So, the question is there any thread that binds Viacom, Tencent Music, Discovery, IQI, which is basically YouTube meets, it's a Chinese internet company that basically has got a lot of YouTube to it. A lot of people don't know it. VIP Shop, which is along with JD.com, are really the mini Amazons of China behind Alibaba. Who else was in there? So yeah, I mean, look, the most interesting message for investors here is when it looks like it's, you're going to get cuffed, and you're going to miss the greatest set of waves ever. Wait for the tide to come in, and I think so. For so many investors that own these names, and I actually own a couple of them. I don't own Viacom because, frankly, I actually owned Viacom for a long time, and really when I thought there was going to be that turnaround, and Backish or Babbage or what's his name?
Wayne Babbage, by the way, great hockey player. I don't think he played for the Rangers ever, although everybody else seemed to. I want to say Wayne Babbage was a St. Louis Blue, but I'm not sure.
I think he had a cup of coffee with the Blues. I think he played with the Leafs too. Wayne Babbage, and Wayne Babbage should not be confused with Wayne Grimnich. Of course, who won the Superstars every year. Tremendous racquetball player. I didn't know we followed was that his core sport? What was Wayne?
I want to say, oddly enough,
Wayne
I want to say he was a surfer as well, but no. I mean, I haven't heard that name in maybe 45 years.
Well, you'll thank me tonight in the middle of,
of course, and not to be confused with perhaps the greatest third baseman in Met history, and you might push back Wayne Garrett, the great Wayne Garrett.
Yeah. Although at the same time, you guys had a guy named. Why did people confuse? Why was sometimes Greg Nettles called Craig Nettles? What was up with that?
It was because right? No, you're right. It's the way he spelled Greg. It was Craig with a G. So a lot of people. So instead of G-R-E-G or even a G-R-E double G, which some people go with the double G. He was Greg though with G-R-A-I-G. So just to clarify.
So for investors, whether it's whether you're looking at whoever might be running Viacom and whether he could lead them out of what was a 10-year spiral downwards, and obviously a lot of issues with the Redstone family and CBS and independence and not decline of linear TV, decline of networks, decline of their studio. Is that a fundamental buy here? Because it's been thrown around and actually now has landed well below the place that it started, although I'm not so sure, because as I was saying, I sold Viacom in mid-January, somewhere around $50, after basically thanking the gods, Viacom Dios, for getting it involved in one of these Reddit trades, and it was really dragged upwards, and I realized that people like Bill Hwang had levered up in the name, and there's a lot of different reasons why it went from effectively high 20s to $95, but it wasn't worth half of that. So I think what investors need to think about is when you have these moments and you have a stock that's either caught up on an upswing, where do you remove emotion from seeing a stock at a level you never thought it could get to and think it could still go higher because it's been arbitrary? Or do you take some profits? It's been a tough call.
And since we got to get out of here because Lukey is going to kill us.
I know,
but you may have noticed how look at the skies behind me. I'm just going to move. You see how dark things got?
Foreboding. Yeah,
it's the ghost of Bodie, and we got to get out of here on that one, man.
Well, look, man. Right boot guy. Everything Swayze. Love it. See you soon.